I stopped going out to eat. Going out to eat, taking out, taking out food, ordering takeout, delivery. For the most part, I stopped all of that, and I was able to save at least $100 a month from my monthly expenses. Based on my habits, I probably saved even more than that. But there you go. That's the big secret. Now in this episode, we're gonna unpack that. But I just wanted to get that out of the way right away. I know the title is a little provocative. It's a little catches your attention, but I didn't want this to be kind of, oh, this is clickbait and click this, and I'm going to string you along for an hour, and then I'm going to reveal to you how I saved $100 a month at least. So there you go. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I stopped going out to eat. I stopped going to restaurants and fast food and Uber Eats and ordering delivery and takeout. I stopped all of that, but not completely. I'm not a Sith Lord. I don't deal in absolutes. I actually still do that, but it's a lot more moderate. Um, Under more stringent conditions. I'll unpack all of that in this episode, but literally for me, I didn't even realize it. I was actually spending like over $100, and that's kind of at the bare minimum. I was pretty conservative with that estimate. In reality, some months I was probably spending over $300 just, going to restaurants or taking out food. And in one simple step, I just cut that out. It wasn't easy. It was simple, but it wasn't easy. And again, we'll unpack all of that in this episode. But if you're like me, uh, and you're trying to save money, and you do, you know, go to restaurants a lot and all that stuff, uh, yeah, just cut that out, and instantly you're gonna feel like you got a raise. In one simple step, you're gonna feel like you got a raise. You're gonna look at your bank account at the end of the month, and you're gonna be, whoa, I have an extra $200. This is awesome, or an extra $100. Um, and I didn't even go out to eat every day. So if again, if you go out to eat every day, you're gonna have a lot more, and depending where you go, as well. And especially if you look at my old episodes, a lot of them they'll say, "Oh, what have you been up to?" And I'll tell you, "Oh, we went to I had Domino's, or oh, I picked up some, I don't know, some Chinese food yesterday." All that has stopped. Again, not completely, which I'll explain kind of my habits now as opposed to a few months ago. But yeah, that's it. That's what I did. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way and not kind of string you along with kind of a long intro. Uh, but before we get into this, speaking of intros, let me just get this out of the way. Welcome to the Take a Break podcast. This is episode 25. I'm KC, and episode 25. Wow, there you go. That's sorry, I just caught myself thinking. I always used to say this on my previous episodes. Any episode that ends in 5 or 0 always feels special to me. So, anyways, episode 25. I think it's episode 25. And this is being recorded. Actually, let me just check my phone here. This is being recorded on Thursday, January 18, 2018. And it's actually 8:45 a.m. in the morning. So this is actually a first time for me as well. Believe it or not, I'm actually starting work in about half an hour or so. But I thought, you know what? I have this podcast idea that I'm just dying to get out there. Not literally, but so I grabbed this recorder. I'm going to record this podcast and then head over to work. So yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand. Oh, and feel free to send me an email, takeabreakpodcast@gmail.com, and you'll be featured in a future episode. I'll read your email out loud. But anyway, so back to the topic at hand. So now that we sort of gotten the beginning out of the way, let's kind of unpack this. Let's take our time. Let's take a break. And I'm going to kind of explain in more detail, probably go off on a few tangents, tell some stories, the usual take a break podcast style, I guess. So, okay, let's just rewind for a second to about 4 or 5 months ago. And actually, let me just see how long I've been recording. Okay, sorry, just checking my voice recorder here. So back in around August, okay, my wife and I decided to get a better. I'm at a loss for words. You see, my coffee hasn't kicked in yet. No, I'm just kidding. We wanted to get a better grasp of our finances, of our budget. Now, I don't want to get into too much detail on that. This episode is not about budgeting. We were fine financially, like no debt. Praise God for that. But I mean, we both work full time. We both have full time office jobs. We really should have a lot more money at the end of the month, uh, given our situation. But we didn't. So we thought, okay, you know what? Let's actually sit down and kind of see what's going on here. So we did that, and we made a lot of changes. But the one I want to focus on today is we decided, you know what? Let's stop going out to eat. We don't go out to eat often, but sorry, let me rephrase that. We don't go out to eat every day, but we kind of looked at some past statements in a couple of months, or at least I did. And we both did, but at least even on my end, I just spent a lot on takeout, going to restaurants, and that really adds up, and you don't even notice it. Like here's a typical week prior to, say, August. So let's start off. So Monday, you go to work. It's a Monday, so after work, you're feeling, you know what? I want to celebrate getting through the week. So, and I don't want to go home and then cook. So after work, on my way home, I'll pick up some fast food. Okay, so that's about $8, I guess. Tuesday is fine. It's a normal day. Go home. I'll make myself something for me. My wife will cook, or she'll cook, or whatever. Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and you're like, oh, I can't believe it's only Wednesday. After work, I'm tired. I want to, pacify myself, and I'll I'll get home from work and I'll tell my wife, hey, listen, let's go walk to the bar up the street. So we'll go to a bar, go to a restaurant, we'll order some drinks. Maybe I'll have a beer, she'll have some wine, we'll have some nachos and some wings, and it'll be a great time. But the bill comes and it's like $60 or so. Okay. Thursday rolls around, just normal day, probably go home, whatever. Friday, oh well, it's a Friday, it's a special occasion. Let's order in pizza. So order in pizza. That's not too expensive, relatively speaking, but whatever, $15. Okay. Uh, so in just those 5 days, let's just review. So I did one kind of small little fast food takeout. That's about $8. And then you went to a restaurant on Wednesday. That's like 60. So we're at like 68, $70. Then we order pizza. So we're at like $85 in just 5 days. Now that's not even the weekend. Then the weekend comes along, and of course, what do you want to do Saturday night? You want to go out again. So we'll go. Hey, let's go to a restaurant. Let's go to a little sit-down restaurant. Nothing fancy, but one of those chain restaurants. That one's whatever, another $50. And then it's Sunday. You wake up. You wanna uh, just order in, and then we'll probably do Uber Eats. Nothing too fancy, but that's about $30-$40. So in that 7 days, and that's just 7 days. You can see we spent well over $100. Okay, now there's both of us, so either we'll split it or we'll treat each other, or it's kind of joint expenses anyway. So let's just divide that by half since we're talking about your personal expenses. So let's say that was like $70 that week. And you can see that wasn't too extravagant. Even if we cut back a couple of the restaurants, that's still about $50 a week, right? And times that by four, you're looking at about $200. And then let's just say there's a week where I didn't go out that much. That's still it still adds up to about $100 at least a month, at least for me, based on my spending. That was a very average week. And if you look at my past episodes, you can see I talk about food a lot. So that's about a at least $100, $200, maybe even $300 um, that I spent just going out to eat. Isn't that crazy? And I didn't even realize it. So back in August, we said, you know what? Let's stop going out to eat. You know? Now, again, we don't deal in absolutes, and some people might disagree with me on this one. Especially if you're in debt and you're trying to get out of debt, or you're saving for something particular, you shouldn't even be going out to eat at all. Uh, I draw a lot of my inspiration from Dave Ramsey. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. He's a kind of a budget finance guru. Um, and although I don't follow everything that he does, luckily I'm not in a position where I need to. But who knows, I might be. But yeah, Dave Ramsey, he always jokes. Well, not jokes, but he says directly, unless you will not see the inside of a restaurant unless you own it or you work there. So basically, what he's saying is you should not be going to restaurants. If you're in debt or you're broke, you should not be going to restaurants. Luckily, we don't fit into either of those categories. But what we do now is so we kind of this is kind of the system that we've created, and right now it's working for us. So we've been doing this for about 4 or 5 months, and it's great. So what we do is we kind of say no more, no reason going out. Okay, so meaning unless it's a special occasion, no more of this. We come home from work, we're tired, let's grab a pizza. No, no more of that. Yes, we're tired, but it doesn't matter. We still have to cook. We still have to do groceries. It's a lot cheaper um, than going out to eat. Doesn't matter how tired we are. So we don't do that anymore. So for me, I'm tired. I come home from work. There's no more. Hey, I'm gonna pick up some Chinese takeout, $20 on my way home from work. No, we're not gonna do that anymore. Well, and we don't do that anymore. Um, and second, we only go to sit down restaurants for special occasions. So that means like, uh, you know, whatever. If it's an anniversary or so and so, then we'll go to a sit down restaurant. But also, we do get value from, enjoying going out to eat and going on dates because that's important. It's important to bond with each other. And so we still actually go on a weekly date, but it, it's probably, I know this sounds, I don't know, judge me if you want, but our dates now of going out is, yeah, we just go to a food court or we'll go to fast food, pick up something relatively healthy, I guess, if you can. But I mean, uh, so we've gone from spending, as you saw from my first example, uh, whatever, like $100 a week on going out or Uber Eats and takeout to like $10, $15 a week, right? Oh, and Uber Eats, we stopped. We were notorious for Uber Eats. We loved Uber Eats. Oh my goodness, that's so convenient. I think I talked about that in a previous episode. I can't remember, but uh, now we still go out to restaurants and we still do all that, but there's a reason for it. You know, we're done with this kind of no reason going out to eat, and of course, there's still a lot of social eating. So even just last week, we went out to a restaurant, and but it was for a reason. We're celebrating a special occasion with another couple, and things like that. Uh, so yeah, so you could even take it up a notch and just stop going out to eat entirely. But for us, we still get value from it, so we included that in our budget. But I mean, no exaggeration. Can like we just fully uh, just stop doing this kind of mindless, no reason spending that you don't even realize. So, look, if you're trying to save money and there's one thing you want to cut out, instantly that will drastically lower your expenses. Do that. Just stop going to restaurants, stop ordering takeout. And again, you don't have to be absolute about it. If you really, maybe pare it down, you don't have to go cold turkey like we did. Um, and say you go out to a restaurant 3 times a week, pare it down to two, then one, then maybe once a month, because it's tough. It's tough. Uh, and you know what? I realized a lot of things too. So actually, here's a little tangent, I guess, is I was working, and then if it's a long day or a stressful day, you want to go to a restaurant. You want to go to a bar and have a drink and eat some nachos and forget about these problems. So I was really pacifying my stress with food. I was stress eating, and that actually adds up a lot too. So one way to help with not going out to eat is, you know, just see what's causing your stress and what's making you go out to eat. Are you compensating for something? Are you trying to de-stress? There's other free ways to distress that aren't as costly, like reading or whatever. But I found out that when I was stressed, or even when I was bored, I would eat and you would order food and you would do this. So I learned and I realized that once I cut it back was, wow, I actually used going to restaurants and eating food as a way to cope with kind of the stresses of life and anxiety or depression or whatever. So, if you're having that issue where you're spending hundreds of dollars a month on kind of going out to restaurants and all that stuff, and you're having a hard time cutting that back, maybe ask yourself why. You know, why am I? How come after work I'm craving to go to a bar and just have a drink and have some wings? Is it really about hunger, or is it about something else? Is there a deeper issue at play here? So that's something you have to ask yourself. Um, but it's been an interesting journey for sure. That's definitely for sure. It's definitely been an interesting journey cutting out food because for the longest time that was a huge part of my life, and people always used to joke, or I don't even know, joke. They're always concerned that all I eat is, you know, fast food or I go to restaurants. Which if I did, I'd be broke. Uh, but there was some truth to that in the sense that yeah, I did, I did go to restaurants a lot or order takeout or Uber Eats. Um, but you know what? Look, as you know, I'm in my early 30s. Live in Toronto with my wife, and it's actually very common. I think I was reading a study. If someone wants to Google it and maybe send me a link, I was listening. Yeah, I was listening to a study actually, and I think I read up on it too. That like half of millennials say that they go out to a restaurant at least 3 times a week. So yeah, like I'm not in the minority here. Like that's it. That's it. I spend a lot of time. I was like, yeah, I'm part of that statistic. I spend a lot of time eating, and you see people taking pictures of food and always going to restaurants. Those aren't cheap, and that really adds up. You know, so but look, I guess that on the other side of the coin is, I guess if you do get value from that and you can afford it, go for it. Good for you. But we weren't in a position. Well, actually, we were in a position to go out to restaurants and do all those things. But I mean, we really wanted to save. We really wanted to tighten our finances, see what's going on. You know, uh, we really don't. Aside from rent, which just Google Toronto rent. It's astronomical. Um, but besides that, we really should be having a lot more money at the end of the month. And you know what? Now we do. Now, uh, you know, cutting out going out to eat, and all that stuff. That was just one part of a bigger equation. So I'm not talking about that big equation in this episode. Maybe I will later, uh, but yeah, cutting out food, and you know what? It is tough. It is tough. Let me maybe talk about the process of that. I remember, especially the first couple weeks, even now, it's so tempting after work to just, you know what, I'm gonna pick up some food, or you know what, let's just go out to a restaurant. Especially because that was the habit that we had. That was the habit that we had. Uh, but we started going groceries, and we started just cooking, and just mentally, I just got used to it now. I know that after work, I, I'm gonna get home, say about 6:30. I'm gonna cook for about an hour, and I'm gonna eat around 7:30. That's just how it is. So now I'm just so used to it. It's not I don't know. It's not a burden. It's not something out of the norm. It's not aberrant now that I go home and cook. That's just what it is. It is what it is. So it's gonna be tough at first, but believe me, once you get into that habit, especially now we've been doing this for 4 to 5 months, it's just a given. I come home, uh, and I'm gonna cook, or my wife's gonna cook, and we're gonna eat. That's it. And we're not gonna go out to a restaurant. That's just it is what it is. And you'll get used to it. Trust me. So if you're thinking about doing it, if you're debating that, go ahead and do it. And another thing, which was great as well, is when we do go out to a restaurant, just me and my wife. Oh, is it special? Oh, is it special? Because we don't do it as often anymore. Case in point, so we started this around August. Um, in the fall, a couple months later, we were celebrating a special occasion, an anniversary of sorts, if you may. And we budgeted, and we knew what our budget was, and we went to a sit down restaurant. Now, it's been the first sit down restaurant that we went to for a special occasion in a couple months, and wow, was it special! It was so special. We savored it. It was special because we haven't done this in a while. It was special because we could eat there stress free, knowing that we budgeted for this and that we can afford it. It was just overall, it was just amazing. It was great. It was really, really good. And whereas before, say you fast forward, sorry, say you rewind. Say we did that back in like June. We went to a restaurant for a special event and celebrated an anniversary or whatever. Well, we go out to eat like a couple times a week anyway, so it wasn't special. So that's another good thing is if you cut back going out to restaurants, when you actually do it, oh, it's so much more special. It's so much more amazing. Uh, and yeah, but that's pretty much it. Can you imagine just in sorry, I was just checking how long I've been at this. In just one simple step, that was it. That was it. Stopped going out uh, to eat. Who would have guessed? So, but yeah, that's hopefully we can continue that, and it looks like we will. And yeah, I don't know. If do you have any experience with that? Are you trying to save, or have you been in my position? Did you cut out going out to eat and immediately saw you had like hundreds of dollars? It almost feels like you got a raise. Send me an email, takeabreakpodcast@gmail.com, and I'm gonna read it. I'll read it on a future episode. So, um, well, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think if I have anything else on that topic. But yeah, that's my advice. That's my advice. I guess it's another shorter episode. Well, I also didn't have my intro and my community chat, all that stuff. I kind of changed the format. This is kind of another just yeah. Anyways, I'll talk about that in another episode. But I'm thinking of just changing the format, just going kind of straight into a topic here. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I'm about to say. So I thought I'd have more stories actually. I don't know. I don't have any notes here, like kind of what I did in the past episodes. But let me just see if I can think about anything here. So yeah, we saved money by not ordering out and takeout, and no more Uber Eats. Um, yeah, Yeah, Uber Eats. Yeah, Uber Eats, very convenient. Too convenient for your own good. Oh my goodness. That's a great product though. If you can afford it, wow. Actually, you know what? Let me talk a little bit about that, I guess, if for you who don't know what it is. It's an app on your phone. You're just on your phone. It's almost like magic. You choose a restaurant, choose what you want to eat, click order, and that's it. The order is sent. Someone's going to pick it up. Someone's going to drop it off at your house, and that's it. All the transaction is done on the app. You already have a credit card that's saved on the app. So you barely feel it, which is probably why we did it so much. You don't really feel the cost. Uh, and it gets delivered to your door. There's no tipping, there's no anything. The Uber driver, it's a literally like a 3 second exchange, you know? Um, it's really fast, it's amazing. I'll give you a typical, uh, say scenario while we Uber Eats a lot, especially on the weekend. So, whatever. Let's say it's Sunday morning, and we are both in bed. We're relaxing. We just woke up, and it's like, hey, let's order some brunch or some breakfast or whatever. And uh, yeah, we'll go on the phone. We'll choose a restaurant. Let's just say whatever this diner. Okay, that's open around this time. You go through their menu and you click, okay, I want some fries. And my wife will say, ooh, I want some pancakes. Okay, let's add that. And I'll say, ooh, you know what? I want some wings with this. Okay, add some wings. We just click it. And then she'll say, oh, okay, ooh, let's add some whatever, scrambled eggs. Okay, great. Look at the order. Say, that looks good. You click whatever, place order or add to order. Uh, Gives you the total bill, whatever. It's, you know, who knows, $35 plus a $5 whatever Uber fee or driver fee or whatever. It's $40 plus tax, all that stuff. Press enter and that's it. And then it says your food will arrive in 20 minutes. Put the phone back down, kind of lie in bed, stretch, talk, and then before you know it, your app goes off and says drivers at your building. There you go. Open the door. Literally, the food is right there that we just ordered like 20, 25 minutes ago, which goes by fast. Uber driver says, here you go. You say thanks. He says, you're welcome. He or she leaves, close the door, and you're eating. And just like that. And you didn't have to see the cash leave your hands, which is probably why, Uber Eats and ordering out to eat, it's so deadly. You can see how we kind of got addicted to it and the ease of it. But now it's different. Now it's okay. It's the weekend, and what are we gonna make? What are we gonna cook? You know, it's a given now. Again, you'll get used to it, but yeah, I wish I was exaggerating when I when I told you that I saved over $100, like at least from going out to eat. Now, if you don't go out to eat, period, I guess you can't really use this step. So if I say, if you're thinking, oh, this is great, I'm going to save over $100 a month by following the step. Well, if you don't go to restaurants or take out or do any of that stuff, anyways, then we're not going to save anything. But good for you, because you're already saving from that. So I applaud you there. Um, but yeah, it's very easy to get caught up in going to restaurants and Uber Eats and all that stuff. So, uh, but yeah, I'm just trying to ramble on. To be honest, I want to hit that 30-minute mark. To be honest, I'm trying. My old episodes used to be like over an hour. Oh my gosh. I guess it's not muscle memory. Practice makes perfect. It's been so long since I podcast. I guess I forgot what it's like to kind of ramble on and go off on tangents. I thought I had more stories related to food and saving money, but oh well. Anyways, look, we're really happy with saving money, and um, and before, if you were to tell me, hey, stop going out to eat, I would have told you, you know what? But I get value from it, and I like it. But I realized that it's not so much that I got value from it; it's just that I was trying to cover up and pacify other stresses. But now, I'm a lot more happier, especially with all this extra money we're saving. And again, we still go out to eat now just for special occasions. And we still have kind of our weekly date nights. But now we're not going to sit there in restaurants, you know? And it's fun cooking too. We spend time every night. We kind of talk in the kitchen. We have this, our apartment has kind of like a bar. I don't know how to explain this setup. It's like a bar that kind of overlooks the kitchen. So while we're cooking, one of us might be at the bar, kind of talking to the other one, and vice versa. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, anyways, it says here I've been recording for 31 minutes. Although I think I gotta trim a little bit of the intro, which is just probably just white noise, I guess. But uh, yeah, I think this is good. I hope I rambled on. I don't even know who's listening to this. So if you are listening to this, send me an email, takeabreakpodcast@gmail.com. If you are listening to the end of this episode, let me know. I'll be very impressed. I'll be very impressed indeed. So, but yeah, just want to thank all my subscribers again. So thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my viewers. I hope this video helped anyone. If anything, maybe it was just, an excuse just to kind of relax and not think about things for half an hour. Um, and yeah, there you go. That's it. That's it. So, how did I save at least $100 per month? It was that I stopped going out to eat at restaurants. I stopped ordering takeout. Now, not completely, but maybe I've cut it back by like 90%. So, good luck if you're also trying to save money, if you're also trying to budget. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next episode. So, send me an email, let me know how you're doing. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got. So, as usual, this is KC saying take care and stay well.